I'm here with Mr. Marshawn Powers. What's up, Marshawn?
Yo. What's up, Rachel? How you doing today?
Good. What's good with you, sir?
Oh, man, I can't call it, man. It's always a good week when you go 3-0 in fantasy football. The Browns win.
Me too.
Maryland won. Ohio State won. The Indians won. I'm just on cloud nine right now.
Yeah, buddy. And then we got our boy, Mr. Willie Epting Jr. Willie, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Cleveland is the city where we come from, so run. What's going on, y'all?
Nothing, man. I was expecting you to say you was something else. When I was like, "How you doing?" I expected you to say 3-0.
Nah, I'm gonna say that. I got something special for that coming up.
You disappointed me, man. You're supposed to say 3-0. Mm-hmm. So, fellas, man, let's get into it. So, Marshawn, yesterday I did talk. We gave our opinions. Me and Cleveland Kate, we gave our opinions about the Cleveland Browns versus the Chicago Bears. They came into the Monsters of the Midway, came into Cleveland Browns Stadium, and it kind of didn't go as planned. I did apologize to DJ Chris Styles on air because we talked about being afraid of what Justin Fields could do. So I did publicly apologize and tell him he was right, because, you men kind of like that stuff and, like being told that you're right. So
that's better than hitting the lotto, in my opinion.
Hey, I'm the type of woman, I say sorry too. I've apologized too, I actually say sorry, I take accountability for stuff. And so I know men like hearing that though. So that's why I'm here to get y'all off my back. So that's why I'm gonna say those things. So y'all can leave me alone or whatever. So, but tell us
Not gonna happen.
I gave up my secrets, man. I should have put that out there. That this is what I do to get y'all off my back.
Ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's all right, man. I try to, hold myself accountable and be nice and sweet and apologize. I'm so sorry, even though I'll be meaning it. So, Marshawn.
Yo.
What say you about Cleveland Browns versus the Chicago Bears?
Oh, man. I'm going to start off by my letter grade that I'm going to give the Browns after this game. I'm going to give them a B-. It wasn't a complete game from them. Offensively, I felt like we could have got better on certain things. Defense was for the team we played. Defense was pretty good. Special teams was really good. In order to win, you got to win every phase: offense, defense, and special teams. And I feel like we did that. But with my standards that I held for the Browns this year, I feel like they didn't reach them this game. A few things Stefanski did coaching wise. You had Demetric Felton in there early over Kareem Hunt, which I think that was kind of crazy. The offensive line really didn't hold up. I think Baker was sacked 5 times. I think that was kind of crazy. I wanted to see the receivers get involved a little bit more because I think Chicago's corners was a little weak. I expected one receiver to have 100 yards receiving this game, and but it was a solid game. I know I said all of that, but overall I was happy. We won. A win is a win. We blew out Chicago. I didn't think we would blow them out. I thought it would have been a much closer game, but a win is a win. I think on the Chicago side, I think it's time to fire Nagy. I'm with it. I'm a Chicago Bears fan on now. I think it's time to get rid of him. You had Justin Fields out there looking like, I wouldn't even say a practice squad guy, scout team guy. He had him out there looking horrible. Old man Jason Peters let Myles Garrett have a 4.5 sack day. It just seemed like the offense wasn't in sync on Chicago's side. They just had the Browns out there looking like the 85 Bears and the Browns defense out there looking like the 85 Bears. So it's on to Minnesota. I'm excited about, where we're trending. Last year Stefanski lost his first game, and then I think we went on a 4-game winning streak. I'm expecting us to go on about a 6 to 7-game winning streak this year because the teams that we play is kind of weak outside of, I want to say, Arizona, the Broncos, out of the next 4 to 5 games. So it's time to take over the North, man. I don't think nobody is in our league, is in our tier in the AFC North right now. So,
Willie, what say you, man?
Which part do you want me to dissect? I'll dissect the Chicago Bears. I agree with you, Marshawn. Nagy should be gone. He should be no more. When you come
Well, let
out,
me ask you about this, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Willie. But I was just kind of thinking, could you possibly just give some credit to the Cleveland Browns, and we were just the head and shoulders best team and above the better team?
Well,
I was about to go there.
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't really feel like people are giving us credit for being as good as we was. But go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Where was I before I was so rudely interrupted?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Willie.
No, I think that, number one, Nagy does need to go. He clearly is in over his head. The offensive line, I didn't expect him to give up 9 sacks. Some of that was on Justin Fields too. I mean, he did hold the ball a couple times a little longer than he needed to. But the thing is, man, when you have one guy that can produce 4.5 sacks by himself in the National Football League, that is a testament to Myles Garrett being worthy of the number 1 overall pick a few years ago. That speaks to his ability to be in contention for the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award. And the Browns were just head and shoulders above Chicago. Now, I must apologize to the Browns because I actually thought that they were going to lose this game.
You did?
I'm gonna tell you why. I thought that because I thought that Nagy, who engineered that offense in Kansas City with the quarterback that has a higher than ceiling skill set. Okay, Justin Fields may not be the passer yet, but man, he didn't accentuate any of his strengths. I mean, not a single one of them. And I thought that they would at least come out and use his ability to run the ball, use his ability to make plays off schedule, particularly when you have a defensive line that is dominating you. You could have called some screen passes, some draws, RPOs, something. And I thought that would be enough to give at least the Browns some trouble because they've been struggling a little bit defensively up until Sunday. But I got to apologize to the Browns because of that reason. I might have had a momentary bout with insanity when I chose that pick. But yeah, man, give it up to Cleveland. They did what they were supposed to do. I didn't actually see the game. I did see a lot of the highlights. And Baker Mayfield did just enough. Those two dudes that run the ball out of the backfield, Hunt and Chubb, the Hunt and Chubb show, they were that. They both rushed for over 80 yards, 165 between the two of them. Yeah. And then Kareem Hunt actually had another 7 catches. Yeah, it was a pretty good offensive effort, but for the 5 sacks that the O-line gave up.
Yeah. I mean, just to piggyback on what he said, for a second, Chicago should have had this game a little bit closer than what it was. I don't know if you remember, Rachel, when it was like, I want to say the third quarter when they got it all the way down to the Browns 4-yard line, and instead of saying, you know what, screw it, it was 4th and 2 on the 4th, and instead of saying, you know what, hey, what do we got to lose? You know, we aren't expected to win this game. You know, why don't you go in? Everybody was saying it. You know, can't remember who the announcers was. But they even said, like, why don't you go for 4th and 2? You know, I mean, you kicking a field goal ain't really gonna help you. You're already down 13 points, so go ahead and get it between one score. And what did he do? Kick a field goal. So after that, I kind of felt like, you know, it's time for Nagy to go. You know, you ain't going for it on 4th down. It just
he didn't believe in his offense. Look at what his offense did all day. I wouldn't believe in them either. And Justin Fields,
game planning then.
You know, what Willie mentioned, you know, Justin Fields they didn't cater an offense that was applicable to his strengths. Like, we know that he can run the ball, and, you know, normally we know that he can run the ball. Sorry about that. And we know that he can pass the ball. We watched him do all this in college, but his receivers were covered. So he was holding on to the ball way longer, and you had an offensive line that was juiced up. Myles Garrett called out the offensive line. They came to deliver. They had struggled to get off the field on third down. So that's something that they knew that they wanted to work on, that they had to work on, and they came through and delivered. So I look at this as an excellent matchup situation that was game planned perfectly. And the things that they needed to tweak and work on, they did. So I feel like you got to give a lot of credit to Cleveland for working on things and, working on the deficits that they did, during the week and when they game planned, and, it just came to fruition again. And it's like, I felt bad. And I hate saying this because Justin Fields was on the enemy team, but I felt bad for him as an individual. I'll root for his success as an individual because it was just really poor play from him, poor scheme, poor design coming out of Chicago. And can I blame Matt Nagy? And I think that takes away from what the Cleveland Browns did defensively as well, what Myles Garrett did, what Jadeveon Clowney did, what they were able to do. I feel like it takes away because they were just overmatched.
No,
I think for Justin Fields, he learned quickly that this ain't the Big Ten.
Yeah, because remember he had said that the game was not as fast as he thought it was. Yeah. So I think a lot of people want to make him eat his words with that too.
Yeah, I mean it's not going to be fast when you playing with guys that's now working at Circuit City and they ain't even around no more.
Circuit City. Oh my God.
It ain't going to be that fast when you got guys there now. I mean, now so I think Justin is going to hopefully he gets together when Nagy's gone, because now Nagy is probably saying, look, I put him out there. He didn't work. Now we're gonna go about it my way. We probably see Nick Foles starting this week.
Yeah, because now go ahead, Willie. Sorry.
But here's the thing.
Sorry, Willie.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Justin Fields is Matt Nagy and their GM, who I can't think of his name right now. That's their
Ryan
guy.
Pace.
Oh, Mr. Pace. Yeah, Pace. He needs a pacemaker. He's gonna need one. But anyway, that's their guy. They moved up in the draft to get him, and they're clearly going to be gone after this year. So now you have a potential where this could turn into a situation where, like Baker Mayfield had, how many offensive coordinators in 3 years? What was it? Three.
Yeah.
It could turn into Sam Darnold, unless they shore up the O-line. And Jason Peters, dude, you should have just stayed on the bench or put a silhouette up there or something, because the way that Miles was running around that dude, oh my goodness. And I just hope, man, for the young man, even though he did go to Ohio State, I just hope for the young man that his confidence doesn't get crushed.
I don't think it will after one game. I think if anything, it's probably just gonna make him work harder, because I think he was put into a bad position, and he probably knows that. I mean, he's gonna make him work harder, in my opinion.
Yeah, now they talking about that there is a quarterback controversy because all three quarterbacks are being considered to start. And is that really fair to Justin? If you're gonna give him this opportunity, let him, have a couple more games, because at the end of the day, what if he's able to turn around? What if this was just one bad game and he turns it around? Matt Nagy and Pace get to keep their jobs, but I don't feel like that's fair to him, because Andy Dalton is always going to be hurt, it seemed like, and let Justin Fields go ahead and resume the reins and be the starting quarterback.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at. All right, fellas, it's that time to take a break already. That 15 minutes was fast. So we are going to be right back. You're listening to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Wasn't that quick?
Yeah, that was quick. I looked down like, dang, it's really 6:15 already.
Huh?
I said, dang, it's 6:15 already.
I know. That first segment go fast.
Mm-hmm. What you want to do next?
LeBron, Brady, or let's talk Josh Gordon.
Yeah, let's do Josh Gordon.
I know you was real pumped about that.
Yeah, it's my guy. It's hard for me to hate that he going to the Chiefs, man.
I can hate on that shit.
That's my guy. I still got a Browns Josh Gordon jersey.
Man, I don't think he should be given another opportunity.
Talent.
Yeah, but he's been given. What did Bill Belichick say? Dependability is better than availability
Mm-hmm.
or ability. Dependability is better than ability.
Mm-hmm. Well, he said, what is Stephen A said something called the same thing. Availability. What did he say?
Is better than ability.
He said something. Yeah, he said something about he said, but he also said that like dependability is better than ability. He said something. It was something he said on his show. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. He with Big Red, so hopefully. But I mean, you've had Bill Belichick, you've had Pete Carroll.
They all try to help
I think this is the last straw for him. You messed this up, man. Just go ahead and find a new hobby.
Well, they say Andy Reid called Travis Kelce and was like, "You gonna fuck this up?" When they drafted him, and he was like, "Nope." And it was like they ain't had a problem about him since.
I think that's probably what he said to Joshua.
Hands a hand. All right, welcome back to Her and Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. And remember, you can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. You can always listen to us on the internet at WOVU.org and make sure you download that WOVU app so you can listen to your favorite personalities on the go. So I'm here with Marshawn Powers and Willie Epteen Jr. And I know one thing that Marshawn has been chomping at the bit to discuss is about Josh Gordon being reinstated and going to the practice squad for the Kansas City Chiefs. Marshawn, why don't you tell us how you feel about that, sir?
On one hand, it's Josh Gordon, my favorite receiver, since he played here. I know how you're feeling right now, Rachel. But at the end of the day, you can't. I mean, even though we just talked about how dependability is better than ability, you can't shy away from this guy's ability. It ain't too many receivers that can get off the couch, get 20 yards to catch, smoke some weed, and go back on the couch. Ain't too many receivers that can do that. But I know that was a joke, Josh. It was a joke. But at the end of the day, all seriousness, I think this is a great move for Kansas City. Kansas City needed another option that could take away that can be a decoy to take away to get Travis Kelce open and Tyreek Hill open because teams was game planning for that. They don't really have nobody else but Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. So with him out there, 6'3", can still run a 4.2. I know he's on the practice squad right now, but I know he'll be on the 53-man within 2 weeks because he stays in game shape. All he really needs to do is just understand the playbook and build some continuity with Patrick Mahomes. But I called this yesterday. I actually called the move last Saturday when I was at the barbershop with talking to some of the older homies. When I found out he was reinstated, I said the only place that he could go is Kansas City. It just made more sense. You got him on the outside. You can use Tyreek Hill just about anywhere around the field that you want. And if it goes how I think it's going to go, look out, Browns fans, in the AFC Championship. That's all I'm going to say. Just look out. We're going to have to bring our A-game against these guys. You're going to have to bring your entire A-game, which means Hunt, Chubb, both combined for about 200 rushing yards, and Baker plays lights out.
Willie, he's coming to your division.
I ain't even get to that part yet. I'm gonna let Willie talk about that. Willie don't seem to understand what's about to happen. So I'm gonna let Willie explain what he thinks about it.
So you saying you think the Raiders gonna lose to Kansas City?
Oh, absolutely. Kansas City don't have nobody on there that could. I mean, Las Vegas don't have nobody corner-wise that can slow down the 30-year-old Josh Gordon.
Because Josh Gordon averaged about 17 yards per reception. You think a 30-year-old Josh Gordon can keep that up? I don't.
No, absolutely not. You mean to tell me that Josh Gordon, who hasn't played a down of football in 3 years, at 30 years old, is going to get up and make that much of a difference for Kansas City Chiefs offense to the point to where now all of a sudden they are back being the Chiefs again? I'm telling you, there are some kinks in that offense. And if if they don't come with the perfect or almost perfect scheme while continuing to turn the ball over, while continuing to allow people to get pressure on Mahomes, y'all need to understand something, man. The blueprint has been set on how to beat the Chiefs. Who set that blueprint? The Raiders did. And you saw, you continue to see what that blueprint has looked like when they ran up against, who did they play in the second game? Was that they played the Ravens in the second game. All right. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What's wrong with him? He all of a sudden can't hold on to the ball. Josh Gordon, yeah, he may
get some catches. He'll get some catches.
He'll get some catches, but he ain't going to be 20 yards per catch, Josh Gordon. That happened when he was in Cleveland catching balls from Tim Couch.
Oh my God. Did you really say Tim Couch? But Josh Gordon also has to be dependable and reliable because we don't know. He's been given X amount of chances. He's been with the New England Patriots. He's been with the Seattle Seahawks. The Cleveland Browns gave him X amount of chances. Everybody has given him a chance. So I don't believe that he will be dependable and reliable. I think that is a failed experiment already.
No, man, don't say that.
I do. He's been given X amount of chances.
I think there's a difference with Big Red.
And hasn't been humble.
Look how many.
He was with Bill Belichick in the Patriots and Tom Brady. He had Tom Brady throwing to him.
How often do Bill Belichick take on problem child? So.
And Antonio Brown.
And what happened? How long did AB last? A game.
Not long.
A game. Bill Belichick don't. Since I've known it, Bill Belichick don't do well with problem child, but Andy Reid do. How many problem child Andy Reid had going back to Philly?
Wait a minute. He had Corey Dillon, who was a problem child.
Okay.
He had Richard Seymour, who was somewhat of a problem child. Okay. Randy Moss was a problem child.
Randy, not in New Orleans. He was a saint.
Who was?
Randy in New England? Randy a problem child in New England?
Yeah, he was a problem child before he got there. Just like Josh Gordon was a problem child before he went to all these places. Now, because your question was, who has Bill Belichick brought in that's been a problem child? I'm only answering the question, not in terms of what they did in their production. So all these players were problem child or problem children. I almost said problem childs. Problem children. But Randy Moss is the only one that really stuck around for X amount of time. So if Josh Gordon can't go to New England and stay off the weed, shout out to Stephen A. Then I look, 3 years on the couch. I don't know what his work ethic is like. And I'm sorry, the game is different now than it was 3 years ago.
That is true, but I still believe the fact that any man can come off the couch.
He in his feelings.
20 yards and catch. There's still some room in the NFL for Josh Gordon. I'm not saying Josh Gordon gonna get Pro Bowl numbers, but what I'm saying is 600 yards, 600 yards, 700 yards, about 4 to 5 touchdowns. That's serviceable. That's serviceable for Josh Gordon.
But they got people on the squad that's already capable of that.
Who?
Tyreek Hill.
Outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, who else?
They have McCole Hardman, who's a flyer. I said they have the potential, but they're not living up to it. I keep telling y'all, outside of Tyreek Hill and outside of Travis Kelce, their receiving core is average at best. And a team, because you want to throw out there, well, the Raiders ain't got no corners. You know what? You need to go and watch some tape, man, because this cover 3 scheme that this dude is running, Bradley is running, it can look like a cover 3. It could look like it could be a cover 3 look. It could turn into man to man. It could turn into cover 2. It could actually turn into a cover 4 quarters defense with people jumping all over the place at the line of scrimmage and backing out into the zones. But the thing is that he has the players. He being Bradley has the players to run the scheme that he has been so successful with. Casey Hayward Jr. when he was in San Diego, got him over there. Got KJ Wright from Seattle. Okay, KJ Wright might be in his 10th year, but he ain't been out of the league for 3 years sitting on his couch.
No,
I'm just saying, y'all listen, like Bomani Jones said, listen to me now, believe me later on.
All right, we're gonna in about 3 weeks, we're gonna come back to this topic. And we're gonna see. Well, I ain't gonna say through. I ain't gonna put a number on it because you're on a practice.
Well, wait.
Now.
When do they play the Raiders? When
the
do the Chiefs play the Raiders?
Both
games?
Yep.
Oh, God.
So let me ask you this then. Since the Kansas City Chiefs are everybody's darling, and okay, no, let me ask, why is it there's so much hesitancy on the Raiders? Do you know what the Raiders have done in these 3 games? The Raiders in these 3 games are the only team in NFL history to start a season with 3 opponents that had at least 10 wins last year and beat them all.
Congratulations. I saw that stat.
I'm just saying. What is it going to take?
I just think, everybody is, I guess y'all in the same boat as us. Everybody's not sold on y'all. Just like everybody's not sold on the Browns. I think that's
everybody's sold on the Browns when you compare it to the Raiders. Everybody's
sold on the Browns run game. If you take the Browns run game away, they would be killing Baker Mayfield any chance he get. Especially going back to Sunday when he missed, was it Felton on a wide open pass? Baker Mayfield. If we didn't have a run game and let's say we beat the Bears by 3 points, that would be headlining news in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield missed Demetri Felton on a wide open pass. So that's why I say I don't think we got that we're in the same tier as y'all. And then on y'all end, what do they always say? They either go to the GM, he doesn't make good decisions with draft and signing that, or they're killing Derek Carr on the behalf because his brother wasn't good. That's why I think they're killing Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback, better than Baker Mayfield in my opinion. Some people may disagree, some people may agree, but I think Derek Carr is getting a bad rep based off of David
Carr. I don't know about that. They're totally.
Willie, I don't feel it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say they're 2 totally different quarterbacks.
Yeah. What? What do you disagree with?
The fact that Derek Carr is getting a bum rap because of his brother.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised of it. Look at the Mannings. Peyton and Eli are 2 different quarterbacks, but Eli's on his pedestal because of his play. I mean, he beat Brady and Belichick twice, but I mean, a little bit of it is because he's Peyton's brother.
Well, back to the topic at hand. Josh Gordon is not going to get up off the bench or off the couch after eating bonbons and Ruffles and Munchos and all that and average 20 yards per reception. It's just not going to happen. I would be shocked if it did.
Yeah, they use him in, some pass plays and stuff like that, but I don't picture the Josh Gordon, the potential he could have been. That person isn't going to show up in Kansas City. Yeah, he'll help out. He'll be serviceable, but I think you kind of living on the pipe dream right there.
Hey,
Rachel, who's running the board? Because we got a lot of comments out there.
Me, I can't see them. Can you read some of them?
Yeah, I can read a couple. George B., who's always chiming in with us. Appreciate his support as always. He says that the Sunday grade for the Browns was a solid A, but the Bears were a solid F.
George, I hope George is listening. How do you give the Browns a solid A when Baker was sacked 5 times? You can't get an A when your quarterback is sacked 5 times.
I agree, Marshawn.
You don't get no A with that.
Yeah, because the offensive line was terrible. This was one of their worst games. Yeah. They had a whole bunch of penalties and holding calls and him getting sacked like that. So
I was just reading this stat that all of last year, Baker Mayfield was sacked 26 times over 16 games. In 3 games, he's already been sacked 9 times.
Ooh.
Hey, George also says that Gordon will be more of a possession receiver. I agree with that for the Chiefs and the decoy for Kelsey and Hill to get open. Well, Kelsey and Hill are going to get open regardless. They don't need no dang decoy. But this is the thing, though. I know you got to have very specialized personnel to deal with those dudes. there's only a handful of teams, in my opinion, that actually have the formula to do just that. You can put Derwin James on Kelsey, and you can man up with a man over the top on Hill, play man or play zone everywhere else if you can get pressure on Mahomes with just 4. And Nick Bosa was able to get back there a lot. They had the defensive line or the front 7 to do that. The Raiders have the front 7 to do that. I think the Browns even have the front 7 to do that. But there's really not a whole lot of teams out there that can really make those types of game plans against a team that seemingly has an offensive playbook that mirrors that of Tecmo Bowl. Everybody go deep.
Yeah, I don't think everybody hate the Las Vegas Raiders, Willie. They're just not sexy.
Whatever. And that's cool. That's cool. We can be the second choice. We can be the second choice to go to the prom. That's cool.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just something about them. Like, it's not a wow factor. You know, what they've done is great, but it's just not. It doesn't blow you away or whatever. And I think people because the Browns have been terrible for so long, the Raiders have played well and they've had some good years. The Browns haven't. So I think if anything, allow us to have our flowers now, please. Can we please have our flowers?
I gave them to you.
You know,
you talking about
why did nobody like the Raiders? What did they do?
Oh,
we like the Raiders fine.
The Raiders got fans in 2 different cities. The Browns only got fans in half of Cleveland.
And the
Raiders, like the Raiders fine.
The Raiders got all of
the Raiders got fans all. What? Don't you know that the Raider fans are the illest?
I don't know, man. I think Dallas.
We got Browns backers all over the world, baby.
I think Dallas Cowboys fans a little bit more ill. They wear their jerseys to church.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that Cowboys suck.
They just ill, but Raider fans are the illest.
Yeah. Anywho, all right, y'all. We're gonna go to break. The Raiders are okay, Willie. We rooting for y'all, kinda. We, especially against in that division. We rooting for y'all. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. What you want to do next?
Let's do NBA.
Okay.
And then we could close out with the Indians. Yeah, we close out with the Indians.
So 15 minutes out of this segment.
Okay.
Because we go to 7 o'clock.
And it's only 33. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. Because the last break is a short break, right?
No, it's just because we talk over.
Oh, okay.
And I get to it late.
And then we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. And then we can save Brady till tomorrow.
Okay. So NBA?
NBA. And you can either add a little bit of LeBron in there. When LeBron was on.
Yeah, let's do a little bit since it happened last night.
Because technically LeBron is part. Because I don't think that COVID stuff is 15 minutes worth. We could definitely talk. You could open up with LeBron because LeBron said today he got his vaccine.
Oh, he did.
So we could say open up with LeBron being on Manning, transition to LeBron, got his vaccine, and then talk about. Yep. He said it today at the Lakers media day. He said he got it to protect his family and friends.
All right. Welcome to her in the Hub WOU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm here with Marshawn Powers and Willie Epting Jr. And you guys, one thing, I don't know if you guys are watching last night, Monday Night Football between the Eagles and the Cowboys, and the Cowboys kind of put a thrashing on the Eagles. I could care less. I don't like either team, so NFC, and I definitely can't stand the Cowboys, so I wish they had lost. But last night, Peyton and Eli did their show, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get the game on regular ESPN. I don't know if anybody had that problem at all, so I kind of, in order to watch the game, well, I had it on the Spanish channel, but I didn't want to listen to the announcers in Spanish, because I did take Spanish, but, at this point, by not using it, I needed to be very slow, and obviously it was not very slow, it was very fast. I'm like, I can't watch it this way, so I turned over to Peyton and Eli, and I got a delightful surprise. LeBron James popped up, and he talked about how he said a couple different things, but one, now he is a Cleveland Browns fan. He is no longer he's no longer a Dallas Cowboy fan anymore. So he grew up out of that, but I wonder if that's because that made a lot of people in Cleveland mad when he was pledging his allegiance to the Dallas Cowboys. So now he's a Cowboys fan. But he also talked about that Pete Carroll and who was the other coach offered him contracts?
Jerry Jones.
No, Jerry Jones. Sorry, Jerry Jones.
Yeah, offered him contracts and told him that he could come play with them. What do you guys think about that? Because there's never been a basketball player, football player combination. It's always football and baseball. There's never. I think he could have did it. I think he could have did both.
All right, so I'm gonna jump on two things quickly because I know my man Willie want to jump into. Number one, LeBron's a bandwagon fan. Come on.
No.
First of all,
I was shocked.
I gotta out LeBron. I much respect for LeBron, but anytime LeBron always referenced to Akron, it was always Akron versus Cleveland. Last night, now he said, "Oh, that's home." Is you rocking with Cleveland or you not? That's my first thing. Come on, man. Don't say that's home and then try to accept the Browns as a part of Cleveland, but then still talk down on Cleveland. That's number one. Number two, I don't think LeBron would have made it as a good football player, man. LeBron
really not a tight end.
I don't think LeBron would have lasted up.
6'8",
Rachel,
250.
Rachel, let's be real. They call LeBron 1 year. Like, come on now. You got dudes who bust their tail to try to make the NFL. Probably 10 times better position players than LeBron. I'm guessing LeBron wanted to be a tight end receiver.
Yeah, but that's so great. That's what's so great about it. Think about him being like a Travis Kelce or Kerry Kittles, or not Kerry Kittles, but what is his name?
Rachel.
Thank you, George Kittles.
Them basketball players be love tapping LeBron, and LeBron be having the Academy Awards for it.
But he know it's different in football. He know he can't get away with that, and those fouls are different.
Rachel, somebody listen. If he would have played in 2011, let me think. Ray Lewis would have still been in. Imagine you getting a hit.
He can take it.
No, man,
he can take it. 6'8", 250. You can absorb a lot. It would have been great to see him play as a football player, even if it was just for a season.
I seen Ray Lewis put out Chad Ochocinco.
Chad Ochocinco, have you ever been around Chad Ochocinco before in real life?
He's skinny thick. I mean, he ain't no bigger than me.
I've been next to him in real life. He's smaller than you.
Yeah, he's taller than me.
He's smaller.
A little bit taller than me. But come on, Rachel. Listen,
he's sinewy.
One of those safeties hit LeBron the right way. I'm saying it.
LeBron putting up records, whatever you're playing.
Remember when before this is like Rob Gronkowski's last few years in the Patriots when the Jaguars was good. Remember the Jaguars? Tashawn Gibson, what's my guy that's with the Rams now, best corner in the league? Ramsey, when they was putting them hits on Brown, you think they're gonna spare LeBron because he LeBron James? No, they trying to knock his head off because they trying to figure, look, you coming on our turf. I don't think LeBron would have just been able to get up. Y'all say Josh Gordon can't get off the couch. You think LeBron could just get off the couch as an NBA player in 2011? He ain't been smoking weed his whole career. No, man, LeBron would have got his chest ripped out.
Willie, what's up, man?
Y'all remember when Mike Tyson was in the WWF?
No, I don't.
I'm gonna tell you the story. Mike Tyson was in the WWF and had a stint with D-Generation X, Triple
I
H,
remember that.
Shawn Michaels, and Chyna. And next thing you know, you hear the broken glass, and here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin down to the ring. And he gets in Mike Tyson's face and said, yeah, you might be the baddest man on the planet, but you were looking at the world's toughest son of a... and really just said, okay, yeah, you did your thing in the boxing ring, but this is a wrestling ring. That is how I liken this with LeBron James, an NBA superstar, one of the top 3 players that I've ever seen play the game. You're saying that just because he is 6'8" and 260, that he can go out there and line up at tight end. I saw some of his tape in high school, by the way. He really wasn't that fluid of a route runner, number one. And then on top of that, he's bigger and stronger than everybody else that he was playing against. So if you back in 2011, think about the hard hitters that were in the game back then. Cam Chancellor. Was Brian Dawkins in the league then? I believe he was.
Pretty sure.
Yep. John Lynch from Tampa Bay. If either one of those dudes, man, was to hit LeBron James coming over the middle, he would have folded. I'm telling you, he does not like contact. So he dang sure ain't gonna like collision.
2 totally different sports, and he had took it before.
Yeah, because I'm
took
telling
it in
you,
high school.
Them dudes in foot. One thing, this is just an assumption, but I feel like football players, they like kind of little kids in a sense, man. They feel like, you know, they already feel like they underpaid. So you got a guy who making probably more than this entire team coming to our turf and think he gonna dominate this turf. With all due respect, if I'm an NFL player, I love you, LeBron, but I'm trying to knock your head off. I'm trying to send you back to the NBA faster than you can.
But y'all can admit it would have been dope to see that for at least a year.
Probably a game. Come on in, Chris Styles.
They would have done him the way that Marshawn Lynch was done when he played for Seattle and they only brought him in for the playoffs. Dude, you cannot okay, Marshawn Lynch, Tim Tebow, they played the game in their respective sports for a long time. You got to remember that this was their number one sport, and he couldn't hack it in Jacksonville. So you mean to tell me that LeBron, look, a 47-inch vertical leap does not matter in the NFL? Vision, the ability to pass, does not matter in the National Football League. What matters is being able to go across that middle. And then we're not even talking about blocking schemes. We don't even know if the dude can block.
He can block.
How do we know that, Rachel? How do we know that? Because he's big? No.
Styles got something to say on this, I guess. What athleticism got to do with taking a hit, though?
None.
Oh, he's back in 2011. They were.
And the rules, come on, dude. That was 10 years ago.
So you mean to tell me, Chris Styles, he could have woke up during the lockout and went on.
Rachel, look at me.
That's true.
What did he say?
I turned my mic off. Willie, did you hear what DJ Cristal said?
No, I can't hear him.
Oh. Yeah, he just said he did it. The league is different now. They hit different. Everything is different. So he could have been able to do it.
But
he can absorb contact. They don't even get no more.
We're talking about the 2011 NFL, not the 2021 NFL.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes, and he was in his prime at 26. Willie, did you hear any of that?
I didn't hear any of it.
Okay. What he pretty much said was he was talking about a player for Philly. What was the name, DJ Cristal? He never played football a day in his life, and he got a contract. So he said in 2011 during that lockout season, he would have been able to get his body in shape to be able to play. So I guess he on board with me. So we got to take a break, though. So we are going to be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. I wonder what happened because I cut my mic off.
His name is Jordan Mailata.
I cut my mic off because that's what I had to do yesterday. Sorry, Willie. I forgot to record a show today.
I forgot to even. I heard her say it's set up to record too.
I just forgot to hit okay.
All right, so what we closing out on?
Well, the basketball stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
go back to it. Yeah, we can. That's a good topic to close out on that. And then we can do.
We can do Brady tomorrow.
Yeah, we could open up. We could open up on Indians tomorrow, and then close out on Browns. Kind of do a reversing. Because I think ain't this their last game they played in? No, we got one more tomorrow with the Royals. Come on, man. Go 80 and 70.
So listen, on the breaks, it's just one per break, not two.
Oh.
Yeah, always one per break.
No, I've been playing two.
Yeah, right. I meant to tell you that. It's always one per break.
Okay.
One. That's it.
Cool.
Be ready to talk after that.
All right. Ready to go now. My bad.
You gonna talk about the Bowman Ohio State?
No, we about to talk about basketball.
Listen.
I can't wait the next Saturday.
Listen. No calf slander.
No calf slander?
Yes.
No, we got them tomorrow. We ain't slandering them.
I will cut your mic off.
No calf slander.
Nobody talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nobody disrespect my Cleveland Cavaliers.
Nah, man. I gotta go in on your GM.
You would not. How you gonna walk through these doors? I'm going on my Cleveland Cavaliers. No slander.
All right. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU at 95.9 FM. I can't even get my opening now. DJ Cristal says no slander of the Cavs. We will not be slandering the Cavs. But one thing LeBron said, we just talked about LeBron, about whether or not he could play football in the NFL. I said yes. But one thing that he also mentioned that was very interesting, because we're going to talk some NBA right quick, is we had LeBron talked about he has gotten a shot. And there have been about 40 players in the NBA who have not gotten a shot. And there's a lot of posturing and things going on right now with the players who do not want to take the shot. There are some states in which the arenas that they enter, you must be vaccinated in order to be there and play. So you have a 90% of players who are vaccinated, and you have some players holding out. You have some notable names such as Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal. I had a list. Players who say that they are not getting the vaccination. So, Willie, man, tell us what you think about that, and how. First of all, do you think the vaccine should be mandated?
Ooh, should it be mandated? I think it should. Because you have to think about as a player. Just think back to when the NBA stopped last year because of the pandemic, and how one virus affected, or one case affected, the whole entire league to shut down. And you fast forwarded a year and a half later, and we have all this new information that is actually very fluid with something that none of us have ever dealt with before. I understand a person's right to have a choice, but when your choice, or if you choose the wrong choice, and it can have a definite, solid impact, not just on you, but the entire league, I think it should be mandated.
I agree. And I actually had to quarantine because of Rudy Gobert. They had just played the Cleveland Cavaliers right when his case was announced. And typically, he said no Cavs slander. Well, the Cavs were not the best team last year. They didn't finish with a good record. So sometimes when there are really good players for the other team, I'll decide to go into that other team's locker room. And I was going to go into the Utah Jazz's locker room to actually get some video of Rudy Gobert. And at the last minute, I was like, man, I'm tired. I don't feel like going in there. But then a couple days later, the news broke that he had COVID, and you had been in, they had been in contact with Cavaliers players, and we're in the locker room around Cavaliers players. So everybody was scared. I think he got it after he left. But like you said, that single case paralyzed the league, and they ended up finishing their season out in the bubble. But because of Rudy Gobert, I had to quarantine, so that directly affected my life, having to call my employer and tell them I've been exposed, because the players have been exposed, and all the staff, everybody had been exposed to these players. So I believe that it should be mandated. And right now, the excuses that people are giving are not good enough, because you have people out here dying. I've known several people to be sick with COVID. I've known 2 people who have died of COVID, and it's just so simple. You have people dying out here. Kids can't get vaccinated as of yet, and they're making up the newest cases. I just can't believe that other people wouldn't help take care of other people. We talk about looking out for each other, especially when Black people are disproportionately dying of this virus. I would think that people would do everything in their possible to keep their fellow man around, but I guess not. Marshawn, what say you? Do you feel like the vaccination should be mandated?
Should it? It depends on who's mandating it. Should it be mandated? Yes. Because at this point now, it's bigger than you.
Absolutely.
It's bigger than players now. It's got to a level where you're trying to get back to regular life, trying to have fans in, you're still trying to get paid. So I feel like in that sense, yes. Will it be mandated? I don't think so. What did I tell you earlier? Who's the president? Well, it ain't even about who's the president of the Players Association. Who's the vice president of the Players Association? Kyrie Irving. One guy who's been against it so much.
Kyrie is against everything.
I honestly don't think it will be mandated. I'm really gonna stick close to this story because I really want to know what's gonna happen. Like yesterday, Brad Bill pretty much said in so many words that he's not getting it. He's already had COVID. If you get it, you can get COVID right after you get it. So what's the point of getting it?
Which is none of this has been proven by science.
Andrew Wiggins used the religion excuse, so that already tells me that he's not gonna get it.
He trying everything, ain't he?
Well, he actually tried to get an exemption in San Francisco, and they wouldn't allow it.
Yeah,
good.
That's hey, man, it's against my religion. You know that we use that. I've used that excuse to get out of work a few times. It's against my religion to work on Sundays. The Browns was playing, so
don't publicize that.
Oh my god,
my bosses don't.
That's funny.
I've told them I'm on radio all the time, and they don't listen to it. So
this might be the day they tune in.
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised. But, no, with Wiggins, I think that was just it's against my religion. I'm not trying to. He had that in his back pocket like a wild ace, just until he felt comfortable enough to take it. Do I think the NBA is going to reach 100%? Probably not, because it's player empowerment right now. Now, if the owners were empowered, I think we wouldn't even be having this conversation, because the owners would simply say, you don't get it, you don't get paid. But now that we're in this whole player empowerment part of the NBA, I don't see the NBA being 100% vaccinated this season. Maybe Maybe that's a strong maybe.
Well,
next
they
year.
don't get paid if they go in the states that mandate the vaccine for them to be in the arenas. They don't play, they don't get paid, so they will be missing out.
Dudes like Kyrie don't care about missing. Well, I can't count.
Kyrie is just
Kyrie
is just a completely different cat, and it's just hard to put your finger on him. You can't label him. He's different.
I like,
and
Kyrie.
That's what I heard. He's just a different cat.
When
think about it like this. Think about it like this, y'all. The pandemic came and shut down the NBA for 4 months. Okay. It came back. They were all in one central location. Mm-hmm. Look at the money that was lost because of that one player. And then you fast forward to the NBA 2021 season, of which there are no fans in the seats. So because of one individual, and back then they ain't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Okay. So now back then, when there was no vaccine, we didn't even have enough tests to test people. So now you have a vaccine. So it's different. It's different now. And do you think that the NBA is going to run the risk of losing out on multi-millions of dollars because everything is in place for people to protect themselves, but more importantly, to protect the people that are around them? Do you honestly think that they're going to risk another huge hit in revenue because of players that don't want to get the vaccine, that are running behind the excuse that I need to do more research? It's been a year and a half. If you ain't got your research now, then you ain't gonna get it. You don't want to get it.
They're not researching anything other than looking at some videos of YouTube about people who are unscientific. So, you also got staff people who are mad too, because, they have family members who are immunocompromised. They had to give up where they live to go be in this bubble for months upon months. Think about them, but nobody cares about them because they're not the ones making $1 million. Think about the ones that had COVID. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Think about what the common man, we all created equal, but what the people who aren't, athletically blessed to be an NBA player, think about what they had to do. So they like, well, why ain't these NBA players having to do anything? So they mad too, and they don't want to take this stuff home to their families because as of right now, kids cannot be vaccinated.
Well, it's true that we are all created equal, but we all know that we ain't treated equal. Number one. Number two, think about what this does to the Brooklyn Nets. New York City has a citywide mandate. Okay, so Brooklyn plays 41 home games. Unvaccinated Kyrie Irving is not playing 41 games. There's 2 more games in Madison Square Garden when they play the Knicks. That's 43 games. San Francisco with the Warriors has a vaccine mandate. That's 44 games. So you mean to tell me that is okay for Kyrie to possibly play in only 38 games the entire year, and this isn't going to have an effect on a Brooklyn Nets team that is primed rather to win a championship now?
Well, I guess the Bucks gonna win it again.
No, man. Hey, listen, if push come to shove and Kyrie makes the Nets do something they regret and trade him, the Nets are still going to win that title next year.
No, sir.
I still got my money on Trey 5, man. I got my money on Trey 5. That's all I'm going to say.
We can say that for tomorrow, but you would think that possibly Kevin Durant, since they super tight, would have a conversation and pull him aside and be like, Kyrie, just get the vaccination because they didn't win the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie. So Kyrie is instrumental to that team. They couldn't get it done without him. So they need Kyrie. So Marshawn,
absolutely,
they need Kyrie.
If you could trade Kyrie for another, that's another story.
We can say that for tomorrow.
Trade him to Philly for Ben Simmons.
Huh? He said trade him to Philly for Ben Simmons. Yeah, but something has got to give, and players as people, they just have to do better. It's time to stop with the excuses and all that other stuff. But Willie, I want to thank you for being with me today. Marshawn, I want to thank you for being with me today.
As always.
Yeah, you have been listening to Her in the Huddle. We had a good time today. Time passed fast. You've been listening to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. We are out of here. Thanks, people.